Do it.
So it was a crazy stuff because 2 months ago, coming to Mexico was just an idea. Like, okay, I want to go to Mexico. So, and it just was like something in the paper, in the table, and then I just start moving things, and suddenly I was in Mexico, and suddenly I was giving trainings in Mexico, and I traveled to Tulum because I wanted to take a free diving course there, and I take it. It was amazing, but too expensive. Tulum is very expensive.
Yeah.
So 3 days was not enough for me. So I say, okay, I really want to train more free diving. So I will find a place that is a little bit cheaper, where I have a good school. And I just Googling and asking people. I found Bacalar, and now I'm here. And now I want to stay for a couple of months until I have a decent level in free diving. Because it
Damn.
was a whole exploration. I had to, yeah, with the free diving and functional breathing. It's crazy. I'm really amazed with that. And what about you?
Well, actually, so I mean, this is all. It's convert. The synchronicity is fantastic. I mean, I did a free diving class 3 weeks ago here
Wow.
in Alexandria. Yeah.
How was that?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, really, it was so much different than I thought it would be. And I mean, you've been deeper than I have now by a long shot, because I did 2 days, and it was just, I mean, it was a very small. It was me, the instructor, and one other person, because he hadn't instructed anybody in a year because of COVID. So that we were his first. Well, actually, we were his second group, but I just loved. I mean, the things that I learned and the insights that, and I'm sure this will resonate, I'm sure there's more that you can fill in, but the extent to which your ability to calm yourself is completely, it's the entire game. It's not, it is completely about that. Not just a good idea, but like, that's it. I mean, amazing to me what a big difference it made with all the apnea stuff that we did. It was like just moving a tiny bit, right? Just putting your little finger up to acknowledge that you've gotten that tap felt like just a gargantuan effort. Like, oh my God, I'm using all my energy. And then when they said, put your feet underneath you as you're trying, like when you're finishing the apnea, it's like, that is just, it felt like I was running a marathon. I was just so exquisitely tuned to the amount of energy. So yeah, that was amazing. And just all the insights into the mammalian dive reflex and what blacking out really is. And the water safety piece, what you need to pay attention to with your partner, how closely you need to know them. It feels beautiful to me. So I cannot, I mean, and to me, I could see, like, we finished our second day and all we wanted to do was keep doing it. But where we were using a pool. We were using the dive well of a pool. So we couldn't even go back. Like, it's typically used by other people, and there's nowhere else around here to dive. You have nice warm water right now to use. So you're in the perfect place. Like, that's so smart. That's so great. You just go to the place where you can continue going.
Yeah. And here we have the cenotes that are amazing because they are always is the same environment. So you can go in the sea is different. And as you said, yeah, it's the mind. I mean, the body, of course, you have to work with your body, know how to equalize and have a very, if you want to go deeper, you need a very flexible and strong diaphragm. And I hear my throat trying to equalize. For me, the frontal getting to equalize was not easy. It was a wall, still being a wall.
Yeah.
I don't know how was that for you.
Well, the same thing. No, I actually had to come back up a couple times because, as the instructor said, if it's painful, turn around. If you can't, you cannot equalize, just come back. Don't go. And that happened to me a number of times. In fact, I have his nose clips downstairs. He lent me his nose clips to practice, so I can just continue practicing. So my Frenzel was, it was okay. But we also the pool was only 20 feet deep. So that's what, I don't know, 10 meters.
And
11.
it's fresh water, no
Oh
salt.
yeah,
No...
it was cold. It was not cold. I mean, it was just it was a swimming pool, basically.
Okay,
So,
swimming pool.
yeah,
Okay.
it was a pool. It wasn't even open water. So I have not done it in open water yet. So
Okay,
because we can't do that right now because of the temperature. But we'll be
I see.
the open water part we will do in like June. We have to wait for the water to warm up.
I see. Yeah, definitely, you don't want to go. The diving reflex just get you more cold.
Right. I don't want. That's not something I want to experiment with.
Yeah, you
water.
don't want
No. I mean,
even
actually,
here, you feel you're freezing. Even here.
Right.
So...
Yeah, exactly. And funny thing is, I've been at our so the Wim Hof place that I mean, it's the place where I do my workshops. There are the ice baths, and I've been doing static apneas face down in the ice baths.
How is that?
But with it, it's great. I mean, you can really stay a long time. It's really excellent. But I'm also right on the surface of the water, and there's somebody with me, and there's very few things that can go wrong. But I would not want to be down in the water in that temperature in case something happened, because my heart slows down so much.
Yeah. And how is the cold during a breath hold? Because for the diving reflex, you have a peripheral vasoconstriction. So
Right.
it's different. If you are doing it breathing, the body reacts different. So how is doing an static apnea in...
Well, in the cold, I mean, actually, I feel like I can go longer in the cold. However, I've never had the pressure added into that. So as you go down, if you're cold and you have the pressure, that might, I don't, that could cause, and I don't even know what that would cause exactly, but I just think it could cause a blackout faster. So
it can be dangerous. And I think the most dangerous part is if you are very deep in salty water, that the pressure is higher, and you start shaking, that is dangerous. Because you are under pressure, so you don't need any kind of movement or stress. This can you can have injuries in your throat, in your lungs. So I think that's the most dangerous part, more than the blackout. I mean, the blacking out is not, can be dangerous, but can happen in the last 10 meters, and normally you have someone to help.
It's usually at the top. You're right. But it's the energy requirements, though.
Yeah, of course.
Would be
you
huge.
Don't want to be shaking in your in the...
No, that's not. So that is definitely, there are, I'm sure like Johannes does cold free diving, of course, right? And
that's another level.
Yes. Well, yeah, but you have to get there on your each step, right?
Yeah.
Each step is a step. And do you know Kiki Bosch? Have you heard of her? Do you know her?
No.
She's Dutch. She's a Wim Hof instructor, but she's also a cold free diver.
Oh, I don't know her.
Yeah, she's got a film actually. Kiki, Kiki Bosch.
After you can send it to me too.
Yeah, they made a film. There's a film. She made a documentary. So she's gotten some, attention for her work. She's used free diving and ice for healing sexual trauma. She was raped, and she's very clear about it. She's like, yes, this happened to me, and she's very public about it. And she's like, I've used this as my healing.
Can you send me her name on WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Because right now what I'm doing is, I mean, just researching, but I want to do it first with myself. The mix of the Oxygen Advantage functional breathing training and free diving, but the free diving is yeah, the diving reflex can be a therapeutical tool
Yeah. Oh, I love
because if you mix that, I mean, we in the Oxygen Advantage, we can stimulate the vagus nerve. We are reducing chemosensitivity to carbon dioxide. A lot of things happening, but imagine mixing that with the diving reflex. Okay, like doing this. Yeah, this is just ideas. I haven't tried that, but I'm telling you because if more people start trying that, maybe we can have more information. And it's like imagine doing the small breath holds, but in the water
yeah.
with someone that have panic attacks. So
Yeah.
you are um, very softly um, working with CO2, but the face is in the water, so you have the bradycardia and all the mammal reflex, diving reflex.
Yes. So it just
It,
slows you down
exactly,
by
and
reflex.
exactly because when I mean for me it was very difficult to achieve um, 30 seconds in my bolt. You know,
Okay.
I don't do very hard physical exercise. I run, you know, I swim a little bit. But when I start doing free diving, it just jumped from 30 to 38 very easy. And normally after 30, it becomes a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think improving the bolt score, if you practice a little bit of apnea and go very gentle with people that have any kind of a condition or going a little bit harder with athletes or something like that. But there is a lot of applications that you can do. Just, I mean, for me, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much, but
Oh no,
is
this is actually I want to explore this. So you're thinking that the additional natural relaxation that the mammalian dive reflex causes can allow you, first of all, for therapeutic purposes, it can just slow
mhm,
down all your stress responses, right?
mhm,
So
yeah,
that just gives you right there,
mhm,
that's a calming input. But
yeah,
also you're thinking, I think this is what you're saying, that using the mammalian dive reflex can also improve your bolt score, but it can also improve your your chemo sensitivity. It can improve your ability to manage blood gases,
yeah,
because
definitely.
yeah, um, well, because you're calm and you're in an apnea, you're naturally calm, so you're able to tolerate a higher amount of apnea without any kind of a stress response.
Yeah,
um and so it kind of funny, it's feeling a little bit, I'm not combining these, but it's a little bit like Wim Hof breathing, because when you're doing the Wim Hof breathing, you obviously blow off your carbon dioxide,
mhm,
so you get rid of the breathing impulse, or you delay it, but also you induce, and some of it's just your own mindset. You calm yourself,
yeah,
and you're able to tolerate something that would be intolerable otherwise. Um, so this is just adding a natural reflex. It's not even using the mind. Well, it's using the unconscious mind, but it's using the
uh-huh.
brain to put you in a condition. I think that's brilliant, Lucas.
But yeah, I think,
I think it's
yeah,
brilliant. It makes perfect sense to me. In fact, I mean, my main sensation from the free diving was how calm I felt. That was the thing that I got from it the most. It was like, oh my God, I have not felt so calm. I'll
exactly.
tell you what though, except I will tell you this. I just recently, our lives can, like, they get so rich with all this work we do. I just had a person, she is a Kundalini gong, plays gong. She came, if you see my story or my postings on Instagram, she came drove from Massachusetts to my
Hmm.
workshop
Wow.
to play the gong. She wanted to see what my Wim Hof world was like, because she's known other Wim Hof people, but she was like,
Mhm.
yours looks like you've got this community that's really powerful, and I want to come see it. So I said, well, come on down. So she came. She brought her gong, large gong, and a smaller one too, and played that during my workshop,
Wow.
which was very powerful. But then she also lived with us for a week, in my house with everybody, with the family. And 2 days ago, she did a Kundalini thing for just me. And it was like 45 minutes of the Kundalini practice. And at the end of it, I felt, and I told her, and I've actually put this in my, I felt so grounded. I felt like nothing could move me. I was so solid, and in my masculine, just sitting there like you couldn't hurt me at all. And I felt so totally calm. And those two, like more calm than ever I felt with Wim Hof stuff, way more, just like a magnet holding me onto the earth. And I thought, this is a gift.
Amazing.
Yeah. So actually what you're talking about, and then bringing in some, I think the sound, she does the gong, it's a very powerful gong. It's like, it moves your whole body. You can really feel it. I think those two together, again, if your job is to bring you into parasympathetic and to calm, those are two very powerful. I think what you're talking about makes a ton of sense, Lucas.
And yeah, just a random idea is like in the water, the sounds is more.
There you go. Now you're talking, man. Oh, it travels.
Apnea and sounds behind the water, under the water.
Shit, you're on it.
Wow.
You got it. Amazing. That's actually, that's how whales communicate, right?
Exactly.
It's sonar under the water.
Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine that.
I think you got it.
But the thing is, imagine someone that have a panic disorder.
Yeah.
Maybe they cannot go to the water in the first session. You really need to improve the bolt score first.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
After that, that's the first step, how you breathe out of the water. Then take the principles of the Oxygen Advantage in the water, because we do a lot of breath holds, but instead of doing them out of the water, you bring this person in the water, because water can create some kind of mental reaction, just we will hold a breath under the water. It's like, can be 5 seconds, but you can start a panic attack for someone just for putting the face in the water.
Yes.
But you work first with them out of the water, then you go in the water.
Yes.
And after that, you can start playing, like this idea that add music in the water.
Right.
Under the water, because our body, the water is the only element that awakes this in us.
And that's the gong too. The gong is actually tied to water, very much tightly tied to water. It's actually a symbol of water, and it waves like water does.
When they put these Tibetan bowls, water inside, and then make them sound, and it's amazing.
Yes, that sounds like a therapy center that needs to just be built with that.
I'm on that.
You're on it.
This thing about the sound in the water. Wow. Yeah, thank you for that. When you talk with others and you share your thoughts, suddenly things start growing. I love that.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, and that's what we saw. Yes, a cenote with sound, right? In it.
I don't know for the animals, but
well, that's true. No, don't mess with the animals. You're right. You got to find some way, but certainly a body of water that has the same composition in some way, because that type of water is so valuable. I know it's not your average water, right? It has a lot of properties. It has higher amounts of the hydrogen stuff. I just forgot the name. It's like with an extra ion in there. It's different where you down there.
The hot springs.
Deuterium. It's
deuterium, okay.
Yeah, with the high deuterium water. That's because then it down where Tulum is, I know, down in Playa del Carmen and so on. That's where Jack Cruz and all the mitochondria people go, because of the cenotes and because of the deuterium.
I didn't know them, and I didn't know about this mitochondrial thing.
Oh my,
What is that?
it's a rabbit hole. It's all about mitochondrial health, and
Okay.
it's based on the binding of the ATP, the ability for your cell to transport an electron across the membrane, because that's energy, that's life energy.
Yeah.
There is no other life energy. If your cell cannot transport an electron through the membrane, you have no voltage. Because voltage is like more energy on one side and less on the other. Otherwise, no voltage, and then you have no power. So if everything is the same power, there's no difference, and if there's no difference, you can't get life. So life is literally a difference in energy between two things. Otherwise, you couldn't have life. If everything's the same energy, nothing could move. So your cells are a little battery, and
so they focus on improve this energy creation.
Right. Yes.
And the moving of the energy.
Yes.
Sounds amazing.
Yes. And there's actually an idea. Yeah, this is actually bioenergetics. And it'll get the Nobel Prize in a couple of years, I promise you. There's a guy named Douglas Wallace at Yale University who's been doing research on this for 40 years. And so this is science. This is deeply researched science. And he will say there, like, energy is life, and that's not woo-woo. That is absolute science.
It's true. Yeah.
As your energy system degrades, as it gets weaker and weaker, you get sicker and sicker. So the literal voltage between your cells, and it's called a phase angle. So Zach Bush talks about it. If you know who Zach Bush is, there's a measurement of something called phase angle with human cells that gives you basically the reading of how well your body is managing electricity, and you get a number, and it's good or it's bad, and that basically tells you how well your body is managing things and whether you're tending to be sick or not be sick. So it's a very clear number. It's a very powerful indicator, and you can improve that with cold, and you can improve it with the kind of work we do to
reading, of course,
improve your energy system.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so people go to
huge influence on that.
Right. And sunlight and circadian rhythm and being like deuterium matters, and being like closer to the equator matters. So you're in a great place where you are right now. So,
wow, thank you for telling me that. I'm very close to Playa del Carmen.
Yeah.
So close.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll send you further references. Yeah.
And I'm telling this to all instructors I talk with. Tomorrow I have a meeting with Tracy Hose. I don't know if you know her. She's freediver in the UK.
Okay. How do you spell it?
Last name? Tracy, TrazyHowe. I will send you her Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at spelling in English. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's good. Yeah, no, that's and so you're meeting with her tomorrow?
Yeah, because she's amazing. She's a beautiful person, and she's free diver, and she's finding out a lot of things. Because, I mean, I don't know how was your course, but for me it was a lot of mouth breathing. Like you go and teach the breath up, you go up and
oh, you mean free diving? The breathe up? No.
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
I know.
And the preparation, you know what? Like,
what are we doing here?
And for me, I say, okay, I won't say anything because I'm here to learn.
Same here.
But after learning this, I will change all this fucking stuff.
Me too.
I mean, because I try it. I tried when I did my pool, the training, and my competition. I did everything through my nose.
Oh, okay.
And I felt it more quiet, more relaxed. I wasn't never close to any kind of blackout. So I think it works. I think this mouth breathing thing is so old school.
It is. Well, you know, Lucas, I forgot, but when I was doing the breathe up, I told the instructor, I said, this doesn't, I just totally, just instinctually, I said, this doesn't feel right to me. Can I do it through my nose? And he said, sure. And I said, oh, thank you. Cause I was hating it. I was really hating it. I was like, I gotta have to do this for 6 minutes. This feels like, I was like, I'm going to be just all dried out and
exactly. I had something in my throat, and I think was related with the pressure and the trying to equalize that breathing through the mouth. I think wasn't good. And you know
right.
something, you were very. I mean, my instructor told me, I know nose breathing is more healthy, but I need you to wear a mask, because when you go down, the pressure will suck your mask if you don't have the nose inside.
True.
And I need that you are able to see me, because I have to give you indications.
True.
So I had to do everything with my mouth.
Yeah.
And was like, oh my God, this doesn't feel healthy or natural for me. But anyway,
So
I just wanted to know the way they do it.
When you're doing your breathe ups, I guess when you're out on the water, you're doing it with a snorkel. Is that right?
At the beginning, I didn't, but then I just take out without the snorkel. Yeah, without the snorkel.
You're doing no snorkel. Okay, so you did it with your head above the water. You were doing your breathe up with your head out of the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put my head up out of the water. I take out my mask and I breathe through my nose.
Okay. Okay. Great. Because they have.
You are going down. Of course, you have the hypercapnia. Well, I was just going 20 meters. So in 20 meters is not that hypercapnic. Of course, you are hypercapnic, but not that much.
Yeah.
But the nitric oxide that is building up in your nasal cavity,
right?
You want it after you go up to breathe. So for me, it's like this. I mean, of course, when you go down, the pressure impacts the gases.
Yeah.
Right? So they become smaller. When you go up, they came back to their normal size. You know all this. That's why you can black out in the last 10 meters, because when you are down, you have more availability of oxygen, because the pressure, the oxygen is in your blood. Yeah. But after that, when you go up, all that oxygen goes to the lungs again. Right. So you become hypoxic. Yep. Okay. So when you go up out of the water, what are you doing with this? It's creating pressure to go out of the hypoxic effects. But for me, the free divers are just taking in account the biomechanics of breathing.
Right.
Because it's not just the pressure of air in your alveoli.
Right.
They need a condition. They need temperature, 37 degrees Celsius. You need a humidity. And of course, the nitric oxide is so important for pulmonary surfactant. The surfactant is what help the lungs to the alveoli to don't collapse. And improves the exchange of gases in the lungs, you know? So if you build up that nitric oxide in your nose and you go up, you take the nose clip and you breathe through your nose, maybe it's not that fast, but doesn't have to be fast.
Right.
You know, right. I think they are thinking that the speed is important, and it's not. You know, I'm because I don't find that I cannot explain myself that good in English, but I think you know what I'm saying.
I think you're saying, they have a false sense of urgency that they are trying to pressurize the oxygen back into themselves, but that's not actually, it's not even the most efficient thing.
Exactly, because you have to bear in mind the 3 dimensions of breathing: biomechanical, biochemical, and psychophysiological.
Right. So
you go out, and you don't just have to bring the oxygen again, but your nervous system have to be in the state you need.
Right.
So if you breathe through your mouth,
right,
you are impacting all that.
Yep.
And I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Right.
If faster to saturate again the blood with
Right.
oxygen.
Right. Right.
Because it's not just about that. It's
Right.
not just about that.
Right.
So I think can be a deeper understanding of how to really breathe out after a very apnea. And there is a
Absolutely.
lot of room for improvement. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, I think
That's
you're on.
why I'm experimenting with myself, because
Yes.
maybe I start just having blackouts for stupid, but I think not. You know, this is science, so I have to prove it first. But in theory, it makes completely sense.
I am so glad you're investigating this, because I felt all these things when I mean, I'm so tuned into mouth breathing also, that when we were doing it, I thought, well, okay, I'm a beginner. I'm just doing what they're saying because I'm not, I need to learn. I can question it as I proceed. And you're in the position where you can explore it because you're in a place where you can continue diving, so you can keep testing it on yourself. And I think you're exactly right. I think it's brilliant. You're taking the principles from Patrick, from Buteyko, from whatever, actually just from OA, and you're just saying, well, they still remain true. The laws of physics don't change. Yeah. So these same laws are going to apply. Temperature, pressure, chemistry, it's all going to still be true. So nitric oxide and what it does to the alveoli. So if that's true, then what's the most optimal way to reoxygenate yourself when you get back up? It's not just to breathe and gulp down air.
Actually, I think
old school.
If you breathe slower,
yes,
it can be better.
Right.
And maybe I'm crazy, and I think maybe some freedivers will say I'm crazy, and maybe I am.
Oh, they will.
I don't want to change anything until I'm sure, because I have a lot of respect for freedivers.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
And instructors. I really respect them because I learn a lot from them.
Yeah.
But as Patrick said, we have to go out of traditions.
Yeah.
We have to remain bold and curious.
Yeah.
Or you will just talk in the same thing one over and over and over and over. You know? I'm not against mouth breathing. But imagine this: you are taking a full breath in to make your dive. They normally do this.
Yes.
Okay. What if you do this? The first stages of the breath in, you do it through your nose. And just at the last part, because you really need your mouth, because the mouth is more able to suck air, you can go with your mouth. For the last one. Sure. Okay. That thing. The preparation for diving. They teach me the resonance breathing, breath in 4, breath out in 6, but very deep, like maybe you don't need that.
Right.
So, and another part is they are very focused on the inhalation. Yes. Of course, they do some pranayamas and the vacuum and all this. But if we go to the research of this teacher, I forgot his name. It's in the James Nestor book. It's Stuck.
Okay, yeah.
That he used to work with COPD patients.
Yeah.
For him, the secret was the exhalation. So like having a full, complete exhalation before you start inhaling. There's something there, I think. It's something there. Because they teach you like do this. To relax.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you just take, I don't know, you remember the high altitude training exercises. In some point, if you are an athlete, you don't want to go with acidosis to a competition before doing your training. This is strong breath holds. So Patrick told us, just do 2 or 3 full exhalations, but don't take a full breath.
Right. Yeah.
So do that the same instead of instead of that, you can do just.
That's exactly how I do.
Very long exhalation, Yeah, and very passive inhale, exhalation, and maybe that take a little bit of the CO2 without hyperventilating.
Right.
You bring complete relaxation to the body,
Right.
and you are warming up
Yeah.
your diaphragm for the full exhalation.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite.
It is.
You know?
And I think, I mean, a lot of what you're seeing is sort of like I think I said at the beginning, sort of a level of urgency and franticness that they bring to the practice, which you know, it's just because, of course, it is sort of an urgent thing to get air. It's an urgent thing to get to the surface. But there, and I think they've got a lot of the calm part is great for some parts of it, but it's, you know, they've missed it with with the breathing part. They've got it with the body part, but they don't have the calmness with the breathing part, it seems. And again, it's just, it seems like it is old school. I think it makes perfect sense. I questioned the franticness of it too. It seemed weird at the time, but I also didn't get enough time with it to really, you know, feel it and analyze it. Just like didn't seem, but I even with Kundalini, I you know, she was having me do some stuff with mouth breathing. I was like, why? I often just say why, and they don't even know why. Of course they don't. So I think Lucas, I think you're actually completely on the money. You're gonna experiment, talk with I just forgot her name, House, tomorrow about all this stuff.
With Tracy, and I want to talk with Johannes too.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a one guy exploration. I need people in the field doing it, you know, and giving me feedback. I have another instructor,
but I'm not experienced.
Exactly.
I'll gladly test it.
And I want to, that's why I have to stay here, because I don't want to be an outsider research, you know, like, yeah, tell me how you feel. No, I want to do it with my body.
Yeah.
And I love the sport and I love the thing. So let's see what happens with this. But I think I'm very passionate about this, like every day, like reading, asking myself questions.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, I mean, another thing that is beautiful, Bob. I'm sorry, because this meeting was supposed to be to
perfect, Lucas. It's what we do, man. I think it's beautiful. Hey, tell you what, you know how I ended up? You know how I ended up with a gong player living in our house for a week?
How?
I said yes. I just said yes. I said, you want to come test it out? Let's go. Let's do it. And now she's probably going to move here, and she's got. She will, and she's got people that are very interested. And she did a couple of classes while she was here, and they were like, "Oh my God, this is so great!" So, like, there's another piece, and that's just by saying yes. So, yeah, I'm totally here, man.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
you have to become. You saw that movie, Yes Man?
Which
with
one?
Jim Carrey. It's called Yes Man. I think it's the call of the movie. It's with Jim Carrey.
I haven't heard of that.
With Jim Carrey, and and he just starts saying yes to everything.
Oh, whoa, okay.
It's that, but it's beautiful. You have to see it. It's a beautiful movie. It's a comedy, but it's beautiful.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, watch it. I'll tell you, it's a beautiful movie.
Eckhart Tolle was talking about his favorite film, and believe it or not, one of his favorite films is Groundhog Day. And I thought, well, why? And he said, because it's this story of this guy who's just in hell. He's living the same life over and over again. And only once he learns to accept it does he learn to like it. Then he's free to leave, and then he doesn't even want to. And it was like perfect.
I never saw the full movie, but I saw like the half.
I have not either.
I will see it again.
Yeah, I gotta see the Yes Man though. That's so good. I'm just writing that one down.
It's a very funny movie. It's with this actor that is so beautiful, and I don't remember.
Yeah, that's my life. I wrote a job description for myself. It's one word. Fool.
Which one?
Fool. Fool. That's my job description. Fool.
Fool. Okay.
Fool. Just saying yes to anything. Like, let's go play. Let's just go find this out. Not in a stupid way, but like just
Uh-huh.
and let's go find out what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just play with the universe. That's my job description.
Wow. Nice.
That's my
Lovely.
job description. That's it. I'm just like, let's see what happens. So
Yeah, I'm working on that because sometimes we have a lot of thoughts around something, like considerations
oh sure.
around something, and life is not like that. It's like you just. I mean,
It doesn't have to be.
you just say yes
Yeah.
because.
You're doing it, Luke.
Why? Because I can. You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And see what happens. And is
Yeah.
that the exploration?
There are very few actual rules. There are very few actual rules. Most of the shit we made up ourselves. Almost all of it. School is made up. Countries are made up. Money is made up. The only things that are necessary, you got to eat. You're gonna die at some point. And that's almost everything. Sleep
Yeah.
somewhere, and maybe, honestly, the rest of it's pretty optional.
Yeah.
If you get it right down to its basics. You might get sick and shit, but that's still, it's just life. But yeah, life is just that. Before we made up all those rules, we were still just an animal on earth. And that's it. So everything else is extra.
Yeah. Exactly.
Choose the extra
Everything is.
you want. Yes, that's it.
Damn.
Yeah, that's it. It's freedom right there.
Yeah, it is.
Doesn't
And
mean it'll
I mean,
be easy, but what?
sometimes it's not easy. For me, it's not easy. I'm here in a new country, and in some point, I was, what am I gonna do with the money? You know, like
Hmm.
I have my house in Colombia, I have to pay for my house,
Hmm.
and now I'm here. What am I gonna do? I'm in my brain. I don't know. I'm was very sure that I wanted to stay, but
Yeah.
some part of my brain was like, what if I came back and then when the time is right, it's, it's never the right time.
Right. Just stay.
Never.
It never is. You're right. That's it. That's yeah. That's what I was telling the gong players. Like, look, there's never going to be a right time for you to move here, so move here now. And she's gonna probably, and it's just awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to know her.
Yeah, she's great. She's great. She's a true open spirit. Yeah, you'll find she'll be here in this world. You'll see
You
her.
can come and visit me in Bacalar. It's a
We're coming.
beautiful place. We can do a retreat or something. Yeah, I have to start doing things here.
Well, you do. I mean, things are coming to you just from what you're saying. You're gonna talk to Johannes. You're gonna talk to Tracy. You're gonna talk to you mentioned someone else.
Johannes.
Yeah, you'll get these people together. Like I said, I'll test anything. I'm not very experienced, but I'm happy to test things once I'm able to, but get whatever you are building, others are going to listen to this.
Yeah.
Because you
And I have a lot of experiments that I want to do. Like what happened, I mean, like a test group that do just the average normal freediving training.
right.
The other group do the freediving training, but high altitude aside, on all the Oxygen Advantage protocols.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And doing that, start doing research, just doing that, see if the people who do the Oxygen Advantage and the functional breathing training can improve faster in the freediving.
And
Well,
can they
yeah, I have to write down all those things.
right, not only just not only improve faster, but how is so with my my English Channel swimmers, my cold water swimmers, a huge study just came out from a woman named Susanna Soberg from Denmark. Andrew Huberman had her on his Instagram. She studied cold water winter swimmers and found amazing adaptations that occur. Your core body temperature drops, and your ability to like just tolerate temperature changes increases, and all kinds of beautiful adaptations occur. Whole cell, like talked about cell efficiency, it improves remarkably from that over just the course of like a few weeks. So that is awesome. And the cold water swimmers want to experiment with this. So I reached out to Susanna. She's a world-class academic, but I'm like, you can experiment with our people. They said yes. And I think we're going to have an experiment happening where she's going to try something. I hope so. I'm like, Susanna, we're here. We want to do your next experiment. We've got the cold water swimmers and they're ready to do it. So I'm just like, again, let's see where this goes. And by the way, I just had I'm going to tell Jamie, my gong player, about this whole thing with water and sound. And I'm betting she's going to be like, oh my God, yes.
Try it. Because
yeah,
if you get information about that, experiences, I mean, we can build something. These things have to be built together.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes you have an idea, okay, I won't say it to anyone because it's mine, right? And it's like, no, fuck it. I need this outside and people doing it so I can have these conversations.
Oh yeah, I agree. That's why I'm like, let's take that gong and see what happens with water with people. I'm going to throw that to Jamie and say, Jamie, water, gong, parasympathetic. What can we do here? And because I know that she takes her gong to the water already, but maybe there's some way of, I don't know. If you have a test, also let me know, like something we can test out. I'm like thrilled.
Please, oh my God. Nice. Everything is just wow.
Yeah. So
nice, beautiful. Nice conversation. Why we don't talk more often, man?
Yeah, this is great. Hey, you're digging in. Awesome. Lucas, baby, you are just, you're on fire. I love it's like all these people just following their hearts. It's just following your heart. It's following your heart.
I'm trying to.
Oh my God. I think I have to say, there aren't that many people that are like, they get their head out of the way and they actually follow their heart. You feel like you're following your heart. And I can tell by the extent to which you're not trying to explain yourself. You're just doing, and then you're saying, here's what I found. Here's what I found. Here's what I found. As opposed to, hey man, if I can just do this and this and this and this, maybe that will work. You're like, no, this is what I'm doing. That's how you can tell. That's how you can tell. Yeah. You can tell when someone's not ready.
It's the best way to build a legacy. Just passing out the information. Share it.
Yes.
I just want to have more time to share more.
Right. And actually, I mean, the other thing is you already have the expertise. You've got the practice. You've got the knowledge. So it's not like you're coming out of the cold, clear blue sky. You've got it. So you're just applying it in different places, staying curious. And just you've got the legitimacy already. And now you're just experimenting. Wim Hof just experimented on himself for 30 years. Mm-hmm. That's all he did. And you can't, look where he got. So yeah, man.
Thank you so much for your words. And I love the work you do. I think we are two explorers, and we have a lot of them in the Oxygen Advantage community. And that's beautiful because we can build a lot of amazing things for the people. So let's talk more often, really. I really enjoy it every time.
I sent you Kiki Bosch's information. Send me Tracy's contact, or at least her Instagram or something when you, send that to me and I'll send you the presentation and we'll do this.
Perfect.
Love it.
Let's do it.
Love you, Lucas. You're beautiful,
Love
man.
you too. Take care, my man.
Yes, to you too.
Continue with the good work.
Go into the water.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah. Deeper and deeper and deeper.
Deeper, baby.
Bye-bye.
You got it. All right. Bye-bye.